All right, are we on?
Yeah, couldn't you hear her?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah.
All right, good. Hear me?
Yeah. I'm gonna put my volume up a little bit too.
Sounds like pinball was.
Like what?
Tommy, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Um,
Hello, everybody. Nice to see everyone. Uh, yes, this is the regular meeting framed as non-duality, but in fact, obviously, the only thing you can describe is duality in a sense. Yeah. So, and the only thing you can understand really is duality and subject objectness, and then that understanding uh, is the negation. Yeah, and then that which you are becomes obvious, not to that which you're not, but just becomes obvious. And so we go over it every week. The assumption in non-duality is being ourselves reality, and then from there, what direction would you take? I would imagine you would stop seeking reality if there was an understanding or something hits you that being ourselves reality, uh, that's the explanation of why it doesn't work to use reality to seek reality. Yeah, because being ourselves reality, uh, looking for it would preclude that fact. Yeah, we would be hoping to arrive at that fact as that fact the whole way. If you don't agree with that, then there's other talks. There's other people who are starting from another point, and it will be more of an affirmation, I imagine. You know, you are what you're looking for as what you're not. Yeah, and hopefully winning what you're not over to the point it will finally let you to be what you are. Yeah, but I don't see it that way, and that's why we have these talks. And really, that's what motivated the satsangs was either I wasn't hearing it or it wasn't seemingly emphasized, and it seemed to be really important to me, or really important. And then basically, we haven't moved from that point because I think it's pointless. Yeah, because if you don't see it, you'll be looking from it. Yeah, and when you're looking from it as what you're looking for, you'll be blind to the fact you are what you're looking for. Yeah, you'll be blind to that through the looking. Yeah, that's the whole thing. See, anyone else, if you were someone and then you were looking for something else, it would work. Yeah, but in this case, you are what you're looking for. That's why the looking for it doesn't work. That's the no other topic presents it that way. That's why non-duality brings into contrast, I feel, a very high contrast, the misunderstandings that we live under, yeah? Or we live as, really. Hold on, I gotta get my phone.
and that's my text to you probably saying to unblock your video. It's got half of it covered.
What happened?
Half of your video is blocked.
Oh, yeah, because I have a new thing. It's not working. Hold on. There
You
you
have a
go.
new what?
I'm using a new sleeve,
Oh,
like a vintage sleeve. I'll tell you later. There you go. So, so
now your head's a
this.
little low.
All right, come on. That's not the sleeve.
Well, now it's way too low.
Hold on. Let me get
That's
it.
perfect.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the assumption that all the speaking is based on, which is being ourselves reality. You can't use reality to seek reality as reality. That's the thing. You could use whatever you wanted to seek something else if you were something else other than that. Yeah. But because you are what you're looking for, and this is just the assumption, it's the basis of non-duality. Invitation is You are right now, just as you seem to appear to be, there's something underneath all that, which is what we are. Yeah? And that what we are does not come and go, does not get bigger and smaller, doesn't go higher and lower, doesn't contract and expand. It's just what is. And there's no, we're not tethered to it by umbilical cord. We are it. Yeah, it isn't like we're something that can be it, but we made a huge decision not to be it. None of that applies. It can't change the fact. So why is it that it's not obvious to us or as us? Because there's an act of being identified as something else that we're constantly paying attention to or listening to all day. Yeah? And therefore, the dreaming gets seemingly, it appears to be forgotten when the dreaming is identified as the dreamt. Yeah? When the dreaming is dreaming, it's obvious this is dreaming. When the dreaming is identified as the dreaming seems real. It appears to be real. Yeah? And that appearance to be real reinforces the reality of the dreamt. And now, all the while being the act of dreaming, there's a where we have a new starting point that we're starting from the dreamt. Yeah. And this is the whole point why the message or the invitation isn't directed at any one of us. It's hopefully going over our heads so that that which we are can hear it. Yes? And maybe get the message first before it's been neutered and turned into something else, and then maybe instead of you as from what you're not looking for, you'll see that. You'll see the mental activity that's implying you looking for it. You'll see it. You'll see everything that's been said intimately. In all these, the seeker is the sort, what's looking is what you're looking for. You can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. What can be perceived can't be perceiving. All of that will become crystal clear sooner or later. Yeah. But not to what you're not. Yeah. But as what you are. And now there's an, there's an understanding of all the misunderstanding. And so you see the futility of using what you're not to find what you are. You just feel it. It's just it like it soaks you to the bone, so to speak. You see all the reasons you thought this is your pursuit of the truth has failed are erroneous. They're not true. The reason why you're seeking the truth fails is because you are the truth. That's why it fails. Yeah, it just does. Yeah. So it's sort of like the idea of, oh, I want, the drive or the desire to be liberated. But really, what happens when you start seeing these things clearly, you're freed from that need to be liberated because that which you're not that really needs to be liberated. It does. Yeah, you're not that. So the incredible meaning of liberation isn't from liberation, it's from where you're hearing it from, how you're holding it. If you're hearing it from what you're not, it's incredibly freaking important. Yeah? If you're hearing it from what you are, you realize that's fool's gold. Yeah? Because the real liberation is from any need to be liberated. That's the liberation. Yeah? The freedom of interest to go where it wants to go from what we're not looks like we're losing interest. And we're thinking, if I lose interest in all this shit that I love, I'm going to lose myself. Yeah? That's all coming from what we're not. Yeah? There's no, the losing interest is you're not interested in the narration as much. That's losing interest. So you're not switching with a new narration, which is, I've disappeared for 4 weeks. You know what I mean? No, you lose interest in all that. You're just basically resting with no story about the resting. Yeah? Just allows you to travel lighter through whatever's going on. Like just before this talk, I lost track of time and Amelia's having an Italian course there. Italians can speak loud, so I had to stuff a pillow under the thing, and then I have this new sleeve, and the camera keeps sinking, so it looks like I'm disappearing as I'm talking. Yeah. Does that have anything really to do with anything? No. Yeah. So, all right. If you and I are reality ourselves, then what needs to be understood in this little place of time and space? What needs to be understood? If we are reality ourselves, what needs to be understood? Does reality need to be understood if we are that ourselves? Or does what we're not need to be understood? Yeah. All the mental activities and these strong assumptions and these conceptual frameworks and the visualization and imagery of us as a body with every window and mirror we look at, and then the memory backing that up, and the thought system completely riffing based on the erroneous assumption that the perceived is what's perceiving. Yeah. This isn't about taking a brick, each brick out of the wall. You see the imaginariness of the wall. Yeah? You see the whole story is bogus. Oh, Huang Po just took out the whole plank of it, which is my head, the way it sounds to me is there's an assumption that it is what's perceiving. Yeah? And it pictures itself as a body. So if it suddenly walked into Huang Po's classroom, its whole emphasis would be negated in one fell swoop. Huang Po would look at me and go, hey, listen, whatever can be perceived, yeah, aka Paul, cannot be that which is perceiving. There goes the whole storyline completely. Do you want to go to page 88? You want to have to read through all of it? No, there's a leap. You recognize something. You recognize the futility of using these mechanisms that are actually the meaning they're giving is to reinforce the identification as what you're not, to get out of what you're not. It's insanity. Yeah. I mean, Einstein said it. You can't use the system that produced the problem to get out of it. Yeah. You just can't do it. Doesn't work. Yeah. This is what we say in AA. Quit playing God. Why? Does that make me bad, terrible? No, it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work. So now, being identified as that which is playing God, it tries to quit playing God, which is that's playing God ad infinitum. So how do I get out of anything? You don't. Yeah. You realize you're not in. Hallelujah. Yeah. You realize all the methodologies you've been trying to use are actually what's stirring the pot. Yeah. So when there's a failure and there's an admittance of that failure and the futility, that's when things dawn on us. Yeah. And then blue is blue and red is red and things become clear. They're already clear, but they become clear seemingly to me. Yeah. And that clarity is very clearly not a cause by me. Basically something, let's really nothing is doing for me what this something can't do. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just totally stoked about this message because I was willing to go for lifetimes, really. If that's what it would take, I would have signed up for lifetimes of work and efforting to arrive at some place. But like we say here, you hear about a great party, but when you get there, it sucks. That's the whole point. Yeah. How are we going to get there without us? Thank God where we are is without us. Yeah. Getting somewhere is never going to happen without us, but where we are is without us. That's the good news. Yeah. So yeah. So like when we have people share, it's awesome. But when people share under the assumption there's 50 million people and stuff like that, I don't believe that. I don't believe there's 50 million unique individual things that are real because they come and go. Yeah, they come and go. Even their appearances change greatly. Yeah, their conditions are all volatile. How can I say that's a long lasting, infinite thing when you're going to pass away? So I really believe, and it doesn't need anything, it just came up from, it's sort of like bled onto the canvas. It wasn't painted on it. But when I heard the description of dreaming through the Course in Miracles, man, it just felt like the exact interpretation that I was under. Yeah? It just felt like it gave word to things that I had really sensed and felt. So if this is dreaming, anything can happen in dreaming. But has anything ever really happened? No. Yeah. I've had so many events where something occurred to me and I was gone, and then I came back, and it was like when I was gone, it was like nothing ever happened. There was no sense of I was leaving one level of reality and going to another level. It was like water and oil. It was like what? And as soon as I wasn't seemingly there, there was no dreaming. There was nothing. Nothing. It when I arrive, that's when it kicks off. Yeah. How are you going to experience your own absence? You can't. You'd have to be a false presence to want that. Yeah? Realize that which is wanting to experience his own absence is absent. Yeah? Yeah? Now, not through like spiritual metaphysical operations as a fact. Yeah? We're really this whole place is based in absence. Yeah? There's an absence of reality. Yeah? That's the basis of Buddhism's idea of emptiness. Nothing has an intrinsic existence in and of itself. It's an appearance. Everything is appearing, but it has to appear to something or nothing. Yeah, and that's our role. Yeah, we seem to be an appearance, and we are that which everything is appearing to. Yeah. And it seems like when we take ourselves to be the appearance, things can go awry. A lot of misunderstanding can occur. Yeah? We start feeling irritable, restless, and discontent. We're constantly always moved. Yeah? Mental anxiety just moving like a herd. Yeah? To some imaginary trough. And it's all explained completely being ourselves reality. That's it. That's why nothing's worked. Yeah. Because we've been living from a misunderstanding that we're something else. Yeah. And we want so much for that something else to attain reality. It becomes the active denial of the reality. Yeah. Our pursuit of it is the act of denial of it. It's like that statement we read in the Course in Miracles, yeah? Firm in faith in this something else that you've made to be yourself is the act of denial of what you are. Yeah? That's the that's like the first equation of the mathematics of one, yeah? The primary number one. That's the first equation. Yeah? You are what you're looking for. And then everything goes south after that. Yeah. I am. And then it's Christian Paul. Everything goes south. Yeah. And then because the primary number of this mathematics is zero. There is no subject, there is no object as a subject objectness. There may be what people call pure subjectivity, but there's no subject object. And especially, there's no object that's actually causing the subjectness. Yeah? That's what we hope to share. So you can feel the balls, how are you going to know you're a juggler unless the balls stop and you see, yeah, you get left with the whole thing and then you can see through it. All right.
Oh,
Thanks, everyone.
I didn't realize I was unmuted. Sorry. Anybody want to raise your hands?
Their hands. Don't raise.
I like that imagery of about juggling. Instead of worrying about why you're not juggling better, like should you be juggling at all?
Well, it's I, me, my is the thing, right?
Yeah, then what you're juggling, yeah. What's actually the juggling behind the juggling?
And the thing is, the juggler doesn't know they're juggling. That's the
Yeah,
whole dilemma.
it's the normal world.
What? Me? No.
Gio has raised his hand.
Hello, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
No, I just want to share that something really seems to come through beyond what you are saying. Sometimes I don't even listen to to the words that you are saying, and it's coming through. Something becomes clearer. And another thing that I have noticed that when we take the attention from that imaginary self, from that imaginary being, the dream seems to become more real. I don't know if you can share, if you understand what I mean. The dream becomes more real when the action figure is not there.
You mean the dream it becomes more real a dream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, for
Yes.
sure. Yes, we're the engine of it all, you see? So
Yeah.
the engine, when the engine changes, like RPM, things are seen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the the warning is don't waste much time trying to convince the programming that it's not the programming. Yeah. Don't waste much time trying to convince the dreamt that it's the dreaming. Just see the dreamt from the dreaming. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. And then because the dreamt has a limited ability, it's programmed just like the with the sheep lion example. The sheep is programmed that it's a sheep. Yeah, that's its source code. So whatever it hears, it's going to frame it from that programming. So when it hears that it's a lion, and maybe it had that feeling that wasn't from the words, yes, when you're in that satsang and there's some real communication going on, it's just hurrying up and waiting to get you out of this meeting and say, hey, I got it. I got the message. And then the sheep now starts trying to become a lion. Yeah. So this is the point. It's just see what you're not. Yeah. And it's not volitional. There's no volition involved in it. You're not the one who's going to decide for it to stop. It doesn't stop. What happens is there's a loss of interest in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when there's a huge amount of interest, the only way it can be looked at concerning relief, this has to stop. No, it doesn't have to stop. It's the interest that's driving it. When the interest leaves it, that mouse is seen. That mouse that was roaring is seen as a mouse, yes? It's not taken to be a lion anymore. And it's all based on interest and attention, and you and I can't move the interest and attention. That would be interest and attention in us, yeah? So it happens in a different way. For me, it's through a negating way, or realizing all this stuff that I assume to be true and of me is not. Yeah? It changes the relationship of interest and attention with this mental object. Yeah? That's called the subject. It changes that relation, and the interest and attention moves. It 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 lands or rests somewhere else. Yeah. Let's say presence. Yeah. So now
So,
the level of interest and attention, like maybe it's 50% 0.001 is resting in presence. That's the whole freaking change. Yeah. That's the beginning of really seeing what you're not from what you are, instead of looking for what you are from what you're not, is that shift of interest and attention. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes I land on the wrong side of the game. It happens very often.
Yeah, that's all right, because the game is going to end, and you know, it's sort of like I always like the use of the Tibetan example of the sky. A clear sky, and allows all this shit to happen, yet it's not affected by any of the shit. Yeah,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
this is the quality of mind they were pointing at, which is. Mind cannot be touched by something that's not real, let's say.
Say that again.
It's sort of like it's just a picture. Mind cannot be touched by something that's not real. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So basically, like the Course in Miracles would say, your attack thoughts are attacking your invulnerability. So all the anxiety of being touched is being held by an untouchable condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of, yeah. But all that doesn't go anywhere unless the table of interest and attention is leaning. Yeah. When that occurs, there's no heavy lifting after that. Yeah.
Yeah. The main problem seems to be that there is a character that says, "Oh yeah, I got it. Oh yeah, that's I have arrived. I have got it," and then I just landed on the wrong side again.
Well, yeah, that's because being ourselves reality. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why that seems to be able to do what it does, is being ourselves reality. We can deny reality, really, in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We have to do it through a mechanism of dreaming and an identification as a dreamt, but basically, for a little bit of time, it can seem to be true. Yeah. Reality has seemed, it's appearing that it has forgotten its reality. Yeah. Now, when that becomes clear, that's absurd. It's an impossibility, but the experience is like that. It feels as if you've forgotten something, so completely that you're looking for it. So that's the beauty of non-duality. It's a call to disarm, not a call to arms. Yeah, it's a it's a recognition of the futility of using the Buddha to seek the Buddha. It just is. That's the gorgeousness of the invitation. It puts all the understandings that truly held from being ourselves reality as misunderstandings, it puts them into a great contrast where it's seemingly much easier to see through them. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's amazing to be available, not through an incredible retreat intensive or some kind of hyperventilating or something, but really just to be available. I'm looking out my back door, and there's same wind blowing through like six different trees. They move differently, the sound's different. It's the same wind, seemingly, but it's unbelievable. And then there's chimes and hummingbirds that have to get a meal before they go to sleep. And
Yeah, and I can't avoid noticing that the dream becomes more real. It
yes,
really, yeah,
yes, it does. That's a very nice way of saying it. I like
as
that.
a dream.
Yes, I know. I like the curve of mind there. Yes, it's exactly like that. The dream gets more real. Yes, as a dream. The
Yeah,
dreaming, really. It's not a dream. That would be a stagnant thing. It's dreaming. So the dreaming gets more real. Not taken to be real, but more
no,
real is the dreaming. Yes, that's a very good description of it. Yeah, a very good description. Yeah. I'm going to steal that from you.
oh, it's okay.
I
It's
like
not
it.
copyrighted.
It's triggering an avalanche in me, which I like. So, yeah. Yeah. It's true. It gets to be HD. And in a weird way, you're more you're more of an individual when you're not one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you are
That's
more
why
you are more
never
of a.
plot
Go ahead.
you could never plot a course to arrive at it. Yeah. It has it
Oh,
comes about through no plotting and no coursing, so to speak.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like we were
Yeah.
born from what? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just everything just appeared,
Yes. And it will disappear tonight when we
and it
go,
will disappear. Yeah,
and then it'll seem to appear again. But there always seems to be one constant in all that, and that's us.
yeah.
Not the one that
Oh,
disappeared, but the one that's there holding the disappearance. Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
ask you a question, Paul.
Yeah.
Do you do you do you dream at night?
Yeah, I do. I don't
Yeah.
think I dream at night. I dream in the early morning, mostly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am beginning to have some very strange things right before the dream arises. If you
Mm.
pay attention and see those colors, and suddenly I see faces and sounds, and if you stay there and you don't fall into one side where it becomes a dream, and you don't fall to the other side where you wake up, some strange things happen there,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I have that in the morning.
Yeah, early in the morning, usually.
I like that because it's the only time when you're having an experience of being a body when you're not experiencing the body. Yeah.
Mhm.
because the body I have injuries and shit, so it's very
Mhm.
nice. You're seemingly here, but you're not. Uh, the body's influence isn't that great. Yeah, yeah.
It's so interesting to see how the dream may begin. And then you realize that in the daytime, it's the same movement. Things start
Yeah.
to happen in our mind like dreams, like the night dreams. And, you suddenly learn how to clear the stuff, something like that.
Well, this one, but see, this aspect of it, time is the main ingredient. Yeah. So we don't see anything coming after this. Like we see something coming after the dream at night because we wake up, and then that becomes a dream. But while you're in it, it's exactly like this. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because it's only this trick of time that you can wake up from that dream. But then, as Ramana says, you're in the awake dream. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
yes.
no one seemingly waking up from that. Yeah. All right, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gio. Mary is up.
Hello. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Mary.
Hey. Hey, Paul. So I wanted to share an experience. So as a therapist, I'm doing training to help people. It's coming, this psychedelic assisted therapy.
Yeah.
It'll be a new tool that hopefully will help people. And so as part of my training, I did plant medicine a while ago, and the experience was anything but pleasant for me. It wasn't some blissful thing, but what did happen is it was this massive kind of catharsis from the system of, I guess, old, you know, I'm not a body and the action figure, but whatever that energy was, it was like 4 hours of grueling, like howling practically. But what happened, and I didn't access any, divinity or bliss or anything. But after that experience, it was like something cleared, and this resonance or this intimation that you talk about, it was like I was able to, like, that frequency just tune in. And it was and it was so surprising in a way, because I didn't know. I kind of wondered, oh, will I meet something and be whatever healed. It wasn't that. It was almost a negation again of that. It was like clearing the channels or whatever. I don't even care what it was, but I just know the result was this, like, I've lost, like, the course says, be not afraid of the ego or the action figure. And that fear of the power of it has just dropped.
Great.
Yeah. So I don't, because I mean, again, I know that the message is we're not a body, and I know that. But at the same time, if I'm starving, hungry, I'm not a body, but the body will be, there's something going on in the body that I will probably have to attend to. And I think it might be the same with old, trauma or whatever that's in the system. It has to come up, out, and through, or at least in my case, it seems to have been an essential thing.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is, though, see, again, I frame that as dreaming oneself out of the dreaming. Yeah. So you're using stuff that appears in the dream and situations and whatever, and then really you could categorize all those events as dreaming oneself out of the dreaming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Now, the, the dilemma is because nothing can become rote. Yeah. Because if something worked at one time, it may not work at another time. Yeah. So basically, in the sequence of the dreaming, as you were dreaming yourself out of it, this came up at the, it was the perfect thing for that moment. it doesn't mean it's going to be the perfect thing for other moments or for other people's moments. Yes?
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is the problem. Everyone wants to sort of like catalog solutions, and it's always based on what's before the activities that make the activities what they are. Yeah? It's really the dreaming.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what was I just heard something on the radio where it's not the disease, it's the person, yeah, who has the disease. So you treat the person, yeah, and you don't treat the disease. In a way, that's getting closer to how I see it work. So the person, obviously, is underneath that is the dreaming, yes?
Mhm.
And the dreaming is going to make it can use a phone book to get out of something. Yeah. It can, what? Look at people use placebos. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's nothing there of any healing property, and yet it's used to heal because it's the dreaming. Just like Jesus says, it's done according to your faith. Yeah. Yeah. As you believe, so it is. He's implying a lot of juice concerning us. Yeah. Obviously.
Mhm.
So when he supposedly healed some, he'd always say to them, it was based on your faith, not me,
Mhm.
you." Yeah. So I find yeah. And the same thing like with psychedelic therapies, the head will arise and try to claim it, just like it does with everything that's introduced. That's why it's important for these warnings to be heard, because before you know it, you'll be taking yourself to be a free me when you're not. Yeah. And then usually that blows up in a really weird way. And
Mhm.
then you're totally crestfallen or something. Yeah. Because there was so much hope that you got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, in fact, there's never a you that's going to get anything. Yeah. So I would love to have, like, they have on a cigarette box, the warnings, this could be hazardous to your health. Yeah. I would feel like, I've met a lot of people who take ayahuasca, and it's been very helpful for them, the message, because no matter how huge and powerful the thing was, the self, the selfing came in and claimed it.
Mhm.
And they were walking around as a free something when they were bound to this idea of being the free something. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know, Paul. For me, it's like it was just something just dropped. I mean, that's
yeah,
it.
exactly. That's great. That's traveling lighter. That's
Oh, it
when the
is.
interest is moved. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
I guess just if I'm hearing you, what you're saying is because that was such a helpful or whatever a moment for me. It doesn't mean it's uniformly helpful for anybody else, and not to say to somebody you should do it. But I was just
well, you can. I mean, it could work, but the point is sort of. Hmm, the Course in Miracles would call it magic. Yes, they call
yes,
it
yes,
magic. So
yes.
here, in this place, in the dreaming oneself out of the dreaming, magic has
Hmm.
a role, something,
Hmm.
but it's magic in
Hmm.
a sense.
Yes, yes,
It would always
absolutely
warn
true.
us.
Yeah,
The Course
yeah,
would warn you of exactly what we're sharing about now.
yes.
Yes. So, I mean, everyone wants a new thing and wants it to work. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But they don't realize what's clouding everything is the misunderstanding, and the huge amount of interest
Hmm.
into that freedom is being used to bind you to an idea.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Who would have
understand.
thunk,
That's
you know?
helpful because if I am using this with people, I'll be have to be really clear that this is with the warning. Or
Well, all you can do is do that. You can put it out there because a lot of shit goes on without us knowing it. So maybe if there's a little bit of knowledge, there may be a little more light on the topic. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I
my
hear what you're
feeling.
saying. Hmm.
Hmm?
I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful because something that was just stuck in the system just shifted or dropped or whatever it
Fantastic.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And you've been so helpful. Yeah. So
Well, the point is, you arrive at a point in the dreaming oneself out of the dreaming that a permission is granted. And
mhm,
then finally something fucking works.
mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. That's what happens.
Well,
That's
and
the, and the dream is happier. That's when it gets happier.
exactly. Well, I think the most beautiful thing is what, like what you're saying, that I don't need the machine, I call it the machine, is just rattling around constantly, but there's this lack of it, like you've talked about, it's just a lack of interest or the fear of it. There was always this fear because I could sense, a counselor once said to me, is there somewhere in the world you could go where you would feel perfectly safe? And I looked at him, I said, well, no, because I'd be there. Like
Mhm.
there's nowhere. And
Yes.
and so now I could go somewhere in the world and it would be there, but there's not that fear. Like the power of it is just sort of is there's more
Hey,
of an intimation. Let's put it that way.
I'm very happy, honey. It's very
So am
nice
I. I'm
because,
so grateful.
you know, yeah, fantastic. Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that share.
Thank you, Mary. I had a fun little experience with just having to get something unscrewed that was stuck, and like just wanted to make it work with what meager tools I had. And I finally gave up the ghost, go get the right wrench to do it, and then that worked seamlessly right away. But as it was turning, it just clicked that it at the at our so-called more significant levels of self, the excitement about the screw turning, I would have been just happy to keep turning it the other way until it got so so stuck the other way that I would be in this situation of being stuck in that the excitement of self, not realizing its excitement is overshooting and getting stuck in the consequences of the other side of the churning. And then even like this, what I was taking apart, it was a shed thing, and somebody had spent all the time to build the shed, and here now it's being undone. So it just had this funny little, you know, it just goes back to self can't get out of self. So when that's applied at levels that we just can't see the repercussions, the unintended consequences, that's all it is, though. It's like a tool, that can't not be used when it's called for. But that particular problem of overshooting the tool the other way is got to be seen. Otherwise, it's there's nothing else to be done. But
Yes.
it just happened from that one nut, that one little nut experience.
Oh, there's one nut for another nut.
I like simple little experiences. Oh, JP has his hand up.
Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to make a report. It's like, and especially after Gio's share, um, it's like I can really relate to this, the dream appearing more real as the dream. It's like, I mean, in my words, what I would say for me is, it's like I'm living this life, but I'm not living this life, you know, and I'm living this life even
Mhm.
more, and
Yes.
and also what came to me was I noticed that when I'm watching like Netflix now, it's a different quality. It's like I'm really in the film, and then it's like I'm really enjoying the movie as a movie. It's not somewhere I want to try to escape in, or it's something that the action figure is. I don't really have words to describe what it is, but I noticed for me there's a different quality to watching a movie now. And then when I stop watching the movie, I'm back with me. I'm back in reality, my reality. And so this is another thing that I've been seeing this week. And then another thing is, and Gio also talked about sleep and dreams. And one thing I was playing with or was just seeing, well, am I as reality always awake, even in my sleep? And there's something to that, this I don't know, I also don't have words to describe it, but it's so clear when I get into a dream, and I get into little dreams, and they're very clear to me. I wake up, and then I try to get back to sleep again, and then, so it's like even in my sleep, the dream is becoming more a clearer dream. We probably I could say it like that. Um, and then another thing that's been happening this week is really staying in the presence and the silence, and somehow being aware of, this is where I rest, and then there's a tendency to come out of it. And what I see when there's that tendency to come out of it, it's like Paul was mentioning, the I am, or the I should, or I want, or or I always precedes the next thing from coming out of rest in me, from me, and that's just becoming more and more clear. And then there's this, and then the action figure goes, well, but if you're not doing something or thinking something, something bad's going to happen. and and it doesn't. When I don't, it doesn't. Nothing bad happens. I'm not missing anything. There isn't anything that has to be attended to, because if there's really something that needs to be attended to, it's attended to in the moment, and the I doesn't really have to be involved to plan it. So yeah, just a lot of great things to report this week, and really always enjoying this meeting. Thank you, Paul.
Well, thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, very good.
Anybody else want to raise their hands? While we're waiting a minute, I'll add, we've had a couple of shares about people not being happy with where they're at, not appreciating enough or whatnot. So it was a recovery meeting, so I titled that, the video title for that one was Enough and Okayness and Availability. Um, what did I say? Good enough. I forget how I said it now. Good enough for now, and then ideas of a better feelings or better story turning over, like the third step. That's to really be okay. I mean, nothing that you don't say already, but to really be okay with enough, or that enough of okay is good, or and that just writing on with what JP was saying, that is really all we, once we're happy with that, that's all we have to aim for. That's or going back to the juggling metaphor, right? Like that, how much of civilization is built on assuming that we have to plan it and that something has to be better, and so things start getting juggled. And so how much how much can we be convinced that being okay and enoughness, and whatever the other word is, are plenty to detangle the juggling or provide a story of better, if it happens, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, you arrive somewhere and then the name comes later.
yeah, that's
So then you get a sense of enough because you've been having a sense of enough. Yeah. So
yeah,
usually, yeah, it's sort of words. It's sort of like a vague sense, and then you can put a name to it later for communication purposes. Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like what happened when I entered recovery. You know, there was a point where I started to feel a sense of well-being, which I didn't know, you know. the sense was there, and then I finally came to be able to communicate it, yeah, the head, and feeling like it had a lot to do with a sense of belonging to a group, yeah. And but the sense and the feeling was there for a while, and then the head caught up with it, yeah. But enough is, it's that picture of the hamster wheel, yeah, and our role in the verbing of that event, yes. It's not even a wheel without us in it, yeah. That's why they. So the hamster is the wheel, so to speak, of the hamster wheel, and desire to become and unbecome. The head is agitated. It's not. It's not a solid set uh, like rock. It's more like a bubbling thing. It's agitated. Yes. In other words, it doesn't find peace because it's driven by a desire to become and unbecome. Yeah, literally. Yes. So the peace is found in spite of it, not with it. Yes. That's why, like in that old Zen statement in Faith Mind, you can't use activity to produce stillness, that would be activity. Well, you can't use agitation to find peace, that would just be more agitation. Yeah? So this is once again recognizing the nature of what's where most of the attention and interest goes to, which is an agitated state. Yeah, seeking, and it's seeking to become less agitated is more agitated. Yes, you see, it's the same. And then there's names given to it, but really that's the engine of it. Yeah, and so resign when the mental state is the most dominant state, then basically we're based from, in, and as agitation, really. Even though we see ourselves as a single thing, yeah, really what we are is much more volatile. Yeah, what we're appearing to be, not what we are. Yes? And this, that's enough is sort of like a state that doesn't arise from that agitation. Yeah, it's not a product of that agitation. Yeah, it's from another aspect, let's say, and then that enough can draw such a clear comparison to the agitation. Yeah, and more gets revealed about that. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, and the third word I used was availability, because that sense that, oh, if I'm okay, but is that really going to be okay for somebody else? That planet aspect. So yeah, so it was enoughness, okayness, and availability, because there's so much of that sense of other people, right? Well, other people are real, and you really have to be. Your good enough is not going to be good enough for them, and then you're not going to be good enough if that's how they react. Right?
yeah,
So,
that yeah,
so that
yeah.
was the third word. Anu has her hand up. Hi, Anu.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, thanks. You?
It was
Hey,
lovely.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, not that great. It was a little tough week. You kind of answered my question, I guess, already a little bit, but I'll ask it anyway. What do you say about hope, in the sense that I was hoping like tomorrow would be better. I'll do the stuff today. Tomorrow would be better. And sometimes I think it's better to, yeah, I think that was my question. Like, what do you say about hope?
Well, hope is, again, isn't like a bit of rock. Yeah, it has different meanings by the one what's before it. So, like in the AA world, hope is like the beginning of recovery in a sense. Yeah. So, down the road, other times hope is sort of a disservice because it's a way of keeping yourself blind to what's actually happening. Yeah. So hope is given meaning by what's before it, and we are in that position of before it. Yes. So again, the hope can also lead to terrible disappointment because the next day is just being the next day, but we were hoping it was going to be different. Yes. Yeah. Which echoes a sense of powerlessness. But all the while that's going on, it can also be used to see who is it that feels hopeless. And it's not you. It's a new, but not you. Yeah. Not as a way of denying the feeling of the hopelessness, and it's not the being bummed out about the conditions. It's not used for that, but it's a recognition that a lot of meaning is represented by a new. So when a new is screwed, it's much different than screwed, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at least there can be some immediate relief by recognizing you're not that. Yeah. And then if you'd like to call me anew and we could talk personally, because it's something about physicality or something. Yeah. Give me a call if you like, and because it'd be more appropriate there. See?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, give me a call. And the thing is, this is not a way of escaping the realm of the action figure. It's one of the byproducts of it. You'll travel lighter through that realm. That doesn't mean everything gets great. It means you can travel lighter through whatever life has in store for us. Yes? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
actually, what really helped me today was, again, what you always say is that, what is being perceived, is not the perceiver. So I was able to finally put some distance between the experience and, who I really am. So that was definitely helpful. So thank you.
well, good, Anu. Yeah, this is when you're in like, when the interest and attention is orbiting around the action figure and all these things. This is where skillful means are helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
To try to send the interest and attention around the corner for a half an hour. Yeah. You have to sort of learn how to distract it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's going to be shit, it's going to attract the flies. If you can't move the shit, then you got to distract the flies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes in a physical condition, you can't remove the shit. So you got to distract the flies because they're going to keep, yeah, yeah.
All right.
So
Thank you, Paul.
call me up if you like later or tomorrow morning before 10:30.
I'll
Yeah.
call you tomorrow, Paul. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Sorry, forgot I was muted. Anybody else want to raise their hand? How come? You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it was just weird that the picture was frozen on a new. Okay, but you came back.
Got a strange posture there. What are you? You're looking underneath a door or something.
It's because I have my main computer crapped out on the laptop, so I had to lean over the bed. I just ran to the bathroom.
All right. Anyone else have any questions, or we can?
I have a question, Paul, or a comment.
Who's
It's
this?
from me.
Sorry, sweetie.
From me.
Oh, Brownie. Yes. Come on, Brownie.
I have to tell you, the futility of applied non-duality is quite a conundrum.
It ain't gonna budge.
Uh, and I'm not a overachiever, so it's not like, I mean, efforts have been done in the life, of course, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the message is loved. The message is loved so much,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it's like if you're watching a movie and the knowledge, of course, the knowledge knowing is just an illusory self, but even if you have the knowledge that you're a character in the movie that's on the screen, and that storyline has already been written, so the fact that we needed to be seekers for whatever period of time in that story was not something that we chose or didn't choose.
Yes.
It just was already written in the story. So it kind of brought me this what do you call it, like a double reverse, I've forgotten its name. Oh, my phone's almost out of battery, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, like a double feedback loop, which just kind of keeps coming around to, there's no cause and effect, and then the feedback loop goes the other way, but there's nothing you can do about it because there's no you to do anything about it. And then anyway,
Yeah.
I kind of sometimes in the spin cycle, and then I try to set it
Yeah.
all aside, and then it'll start spinning again. And anyway, that's the
Yeah.
story today.
Yeah. It's not electric, it's battery operated, so it will die down.
See, even having the hope that that's going to happen is
I
like,
threw a little bone your way. I threw a little
it'll
bone.
happen for, say that again, Paul.
I threw a bone your way.
I love it. I'm going to gnaw on it until my gums get bleeding.
A drip of compassion dropped out of me. It doesn't usually leak out, but because I like you and you're a main part of this, it leaked out.
I had a hellish couple of weeks. So today, this couple of days, yesterday something got a little bit lighter, and
Yeah.
yeah.
No one ever
So
said it's going to be easy. Traveling lighter doesn't sometimes, it doesn't entail easiness. It's just traveling lighter. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who would travel lighter? That's like, if there's really no me, this imaginary thing even is grasping onto that traveling lighter, and at the same time it's like, oh no, I'm letting traveling lighter go. It's just that same.
Yeah, yeah. You're neither of that, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's like butter.
Just don't worry about it. It's truly battery operated. It can't keep the spinning can't keep up, really. It can't. I'm telling you.
Okay,
That's
good.
not owned. That's a fact. Yeah. The batteries run down. Yeah.
I remember that story you told about when you read in Triangle magazine, these meditation students that wrote back 30 years later and been like, I'm not getting anywhere with this. And because the efforts are obviously not part of the package.
Yeah, well, they can be in a where, like you were sharing, it brought you to the realize that it doesn't have anything to do with effort. A lot of times there had to been a lot of effort to get to that point. Yeah. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So effort had value, not the way you thought it was going to have value, but it had value nonetheless. That's what's awesome.
Very true.
That's what awesome is the unbelievability where it's just our thinking or the thinking is so small, yeah, and so right angled and so like in a cube. It's amazing when you see it completely different than the way it would be thought of. Yes? Yeah.
I said, my dad, when I was a kid, made this little radio. He like, made it, put it together, created it from like a kit or something. And I'm just hoping by the grace of whatever, that battery on K Brahmi just sort of just wears out, because her loop is just sort of, I mean,
But it's
tiresome at this
not your
point.
loop, honey. It's not your loop.
I,
Sometimes, sometimes when something's winding down, you hear it the most. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's ridiculous. Like the things she comes up with, it's just, at this point, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
don't even believe her anymore, but she just keeps chatting away.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. That's where a lot of people hope and it fails. They're hoping that will stop completely. I just think it will be less attended. That's all. Yeah.
Right.
And there'll be an
Because she's trying.
acceptance of all that. There'll be an acceptance of all that instead of like a desire for it to be different. Yeah. There'll be an acceptance of it. Like now, there's probably a lot of thoughts, but I don't even hear them as singular thoughts. They're almost like cans being dragged behind a car. Yeah. And then every once in a while, a noun shows up, like Bill or something like that. You know what I mean? But if you ask me what I thought, I don't. For the life of me, I can't tell you. I have no idea what's gone on all day up there. Seriously. Like,
Fantastic. Oh, I believe you. I believe it.
so I hope that happens with you, honey. Yeah. And I had the Brahmi mind, because it's not the Brahmi mind, when I was young. I mean, that's what drove me to drink and to use in a way. I wanted to just I would pay any consequence tomorrow just to get some escape from it now. I mean, literally. And that actually, I lived that out for 20 years. And it's, thank God, whatever you want, just thank that the interest and attention was moved. Yeah. Really, because it had a lot of ampage to really broadcast its fucking frequency. Yeah. So this is the point. This is how I feel when you see it's not you, or if you ever, anytime you're interested in something and then you find out it has nothing to do with you, you lose interest, really. The interest, you don't, it's not a volition, but you recognize a loss of interest. Well, it's the same idea. When you stop seeing Brahmi as being the source or the one and da da da, there'll be a loss of interest in all the spinning and shit. Yeah. Really, that's what happens. It's just like if you have, you're interested in somebody and you're hoping that you maybe go horizontal with them or have a life or whatever, and they're in another room and you're really trying hard to hear what they say because you're hoping they'll say something about you, like, oh, I like that guy, Paul, because you're afraid to just go up and ask her anything. You want the bet to be hedged, so to speak. Then you realize she says to one of her friends, I really like Kevin, and you're not Kevin. There's a loss of interest in that fucking conversation in the other room. I don't send like the Navy SEAL 6 team to get the attention. It just goes, yeah, because it's not about me. Yeah. So this is the whole point. Yeah.
Can that be used as a skillful means? See, my applied non-duality is coming through again.
How about you put, you don't, and then see what happens. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
And even if you do, you're not that. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. See, the applying of non-duality isn't done by you. It's inferred that it was you that did it. Yeah. Yeah. That's what gives it such a meaning. Yeah.
Aha.
Would you care that anyone else was trying to apply non-duality? No, you probably wouldn't. But it's only because it's you. Yeah. So that's the
Yeah.
point. How much is revealed by that? Yeah. So, yeah. We accept Brahmi. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Because we're not Brahmi. Yeah. Isn't that true? Who
Yeah.
holds you up and who holds such high standards for you? It's you. Yeah. You probably don't hold those standards on others because they're not you. You see, everything's fucking different with that idea of you. And then that you gets crowned me. And then, then you seem to be the only witness of the spinning. Yeah. And it sucks or whatever. And of course, you want to apply some relief, but that which is applying the relief is the source of the agitation. So what are you going to do? Have it fail on you. Yeah. Yeah.
The best thing a failed system can show you.
That's right. And you'll be there when it collapses. You will. Hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. Infinity outweighs everything. Yeah. There's nothing. Yeah. And we are of that, I feel. Yes. Yeah. We love you, Brahmi. Yeah. Thank you.
Love you, Paul.
Reports from India all the time. We appreciate it.
Well, I booked a ticket. I'm out in 2 weeks.
Oh, you are? Where you going? Where are you coming back to?
I'm going to Maryland.
Oh, great, great. Well, let us know how it goes.
I will do.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, we'll have Brahmi closer. That would be nice. Yeah. Great. All right, Mike. Anyone else?
Enjoy your last 2 weeks there, Brahmi.
Thank you. I will.
Anybody else want to raise their hand?
Well, let's say goodbye, Mike, then, eh?
Okay, and let me remind again, the first 2 weeks of July, I'll be gone. So if anybody likes, editing videos, posting them into audio files, let me know. If nobody does, then they'll be delayed for at least a
We'll
week.
get somebody. Yeah. But yeah.
So, no, I wasn't threatening. I was just saying that's,
Okay.
there's no calamity if it
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah, yeah. It'll work out. We'll get somebody.
Yeah, no.
But just
Just if you enjoy it.
just mention it in chat if you're interested, and I think Mike can show you. It's not. I don't think it's a very difficult thing.
No, it's not. Yeah, no. And you can use my email on the
And
website, the donations tab.
you'll receive a hearty handshake from Paul Hedderman. Yeah, a hearty handshake. Yes. All right. So anything else? That's it.
Yeah, still no hands.
Hot dog. All right. Great. Well, let's say hello to Brandon. Nice to see you, Brandon. Yeah. Thanks for the music, Mike. As always, we got Geo. Thank you, Geo, for the dream is more real. Yes, I like that. Tommy, nice to see you, Tommy, or not see you. John K. Thank you, John, for all the support. Everyone else who supports Zen Bitch Slap and the lavish lifestyle that I've become accustomed to. We appreciate it. We have Linda, as always. Yes, nice to see you, Linda. Yeah, yeah. We got Sanda. Sanda, you're gonna be the only one in the outpost of India. Wow. All right. All right, Kenneth. Nice to see you, Kenneth, in Vancouver. Let's see. Alex, yeah, there she is. Nice to see you, hon. Slatko. Slatko. Nice to see you, bro. Tomorrow, maybe. Jason from New Jersey. Wow, Jason. Where in New Jersey are you?
Brick, right by the Jersey Shore.
Oh, the Jersey Shore, yeah. I go there a lot. I go to Dover, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of miles from the shore. Yeah, there's a lot of Dovers in New Jersey. I go to one of them now. And near where's that place? Whatever. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Jason.
Let's see.
Hey, Johannes, nice to see you, my friend. Yes. JP, thank you for the lovely report. With Mary's great report. Very nice. Thank you. Keith, good to see you in Boise. I think he's frozen there. Vlad, it's incredible that we can see Vlad in Siberia on these Zooms. That's awesome. Vlad, can you hear me?
Thank you.
Yes,
yes. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure. It allowed me to meet you, Vlad, which was fun when we were in London. That was nice. We got
yeah, it was great fun.
Yes. We got a new call me tomorrow, eh? Yes, yes. We got Stefan on Having Never Left. Always great to see him. Oh, just Julia, the immigrant from Los Angeles, now in Australia. Oh, she's in Cairns now, I think, yes? Yeah. Oh, oh, beautiful. Yeah. Very nice. Well, I'll tell Amelia you're on. She's doing an Italian course right now. Yeah, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, honey.
Good to see you.
Yeah. We got Brahmi. She's going to be from Maryland soon.
I was feeling too special. That independent self was feeling too special being from India, Paul. I got to take it down a couple notches.
That's right. Well, Maryland will do that.
Maryland, Baltimore.
Maybe too many notches, you know. But you go the extreme, Brahmi. I can see that. All right, we got John R. I guess that was John Reed. I think he may have passed. He's gone. We got John W. John Walker from Melbourne.
Hi,
Yes.
Paul. Hi,
Nice
Paul.
to see you. Nice to
Love the
play.
meeting. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Always great to see you. And we'll be seeing you live, I hope, soon. Yeah.
Yep. Got a room for
great.
you.
Oh, great. Well, we'll talk to you about it because we really like to go over there. All right, we got Keith. We said hello to him. Susan, we used to call Suzanne. She's here. We got Deborah M. Nice to see you, Deborah. We got John S. We got Roger. We got Susanna. I think it may be Susanna W. That would be nice. We've got Amelia. Oh, Amelia is here. Fantastic. We got Jim. We got a phone number. That's about it. Hey, thanks everybody. What a pleasure to share some time with you all. Yeah. Yeah. See you soon. I'll see some tomorrow. Present Bitch and everyone.